Space, the final frontier, here in Oxygen Not Included. So this week we're going to be focusing on everything that I need to get up and running in space in order to actually launch rockets to go visit other asteroids and then, bring them back from the star map and all that fun stuff. So the first thing I need to do is actually get a realistic way to actually get into the space environment. So for that, you need a mechanized airlock and you need different suits. So what I want to try to use this time is actually use jet suit docks. So the reason I want to use jet suit docks is that when I go to actually plan out my solar array system up here, I'll actually be building it at the very top of the map. And then I'll be doing some sort of crazy thing down here that I've been testing over the weekend in order to clear all the regolith and actually capture the iron. So look forward to that. That'll cover the scanning and also get the solar panels up and running and all of that good stuff. And provide kind of a launch pad, then we can build the silos and rockets and all that stuff over there. But we also need things like liquid hydrogen and everything. Speaking of hydrogen, you guys had an absolutely awesome idea when it came to kind of my automated cooking system down here that's massive and has all of this crazy automation going on. And the answer was not necessarily to automate the ingredients to the gas ranges, because I did actually have like an alternative playthrough that I actually did where I tried to automate this more than I tried to automate that. But as it turns out, it gets really complicated with gas ranges because you have more than one ingredient and some of those ingredients are shared between gas ranges. So what I was actually doing is having all of these build the same stuff. They were all just doing the same stuff and I was using multiples of them. But the biggest problem that I had is that the food could potentially go bad in the receptacles up here. So this is where crowdsourcing comes into play, and you guys are absolutely awesome. You guys kill it every single time. And two of you had a fantastic idea here. Potatoes Are Us and High Tech Guy 18 were like, hey, why don't you just put some hydrogen right up here? So if we have hydrogen up there, that actually is a sterile environment where you can store food, just like we have with chlorine and just like we have with carbon dioxide. And that way, all of the ingredients can just kind of sit up here in the receptacle and they won't go bad. Now, maybe if they're in the conveyor rail, they might still be exposed, but I like it. I think that's a fancy idea. And it's a lot easier than trying to enclose everything here and run them inside of Atmos suits, or redesign this so that the receptacles are actually down here in between the gas ranges, as was being discussed on the Discord channel. Oh, and some other good news. The liquid pipes are back up and running, so they're flowing and as intended. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little work here just to move everything as intended. And while that is happening, what I'm going to do is actually run some petroleum all the way from down here. So then I'll run all of that up here to the jet suit docks. However, I'm not just going to have jet suit docks up here. There will be Atmos suits as well. So you don't necessarily need to run jet suits all the time. Although, if I can, I definitely will. There's still a reason, though, to use the exosuits up here. Build everything, duplicates. There you go. And now I need more Atmos suits. And here's the cool thing. You can actually make these out of more metals now. So I can make them out of aluminum if I wanted to, or the iron. That would be nice. I don't have much aluminum in my base, or aluminium, as some people like to call it. So I'm not going to use up my aluminium. I'll just use up iron. So we'll go ahead and just make that. And that's so nice that I don't have to use copper. I can actually use copper for something besides the exosuits. Although it takes petroleum to make the jet suits. So I need to be able to get to that. Oh man, the mother of all pipelines. And I have to figure out how to get it all the way through all of that. Have at it, dupes. You're going to be building for a while. Man, do I have a lot of igneous rock all of a sudden. Or had. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and empty the hydrogen here. Boom, good job. Hey, we're even emptying the pipes. These dupes are being really productive today. Hey, dupes, we don't need the outhouses right now. Yo, you could just disable them all. Oh, speaking of which, we could use the outhouse for morbs. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh well, I'm gonna keep these on standby just in case they try to run the liquid pipe things again. Okay, but not these up here. They're ugly. Goodbye. Okay, so I want to plan this out just a little bit better than I did last time, right? So we got mushrooms, lettuce. Lettuce is used in a couple of spots. Barbecue, but then pinch of pepper nut is actually used in multiple places as well. So it's actually the pinch of pepper nut that should be like right in the middle. Right there and there. And I think I'm just going to get rid of this gas range and convert it to an electric grill. So one of the other things I'll want to do is actually crank up the amount of steel I'm producing. So you can see that we're only storing an extra 1,000 here. I think I'm going to want to bump this up, because the amount of doors and the amount of bunker tiles I'll need is going to be quite a bit more. So it's good to have that stuff on hand. Of course, with this in mind, I also need to continue to dig up more and more metal as I can find it throughout my map. So wherever there's a deposit, I'm going to be digging to it now. Dig! Oops, I need more metal. Feed the machine. Get this over here. Metal spotted. Let's dig it up. Okay, so here's another thing I did. I actually cleared this out down here so that the waterweed seeds would fall down onto this phosphorite tile and then self-plant. So what you can see is we actually have waterweeds growing right here, but they're growing wild. So it's like 48 cycles. It'll take forever. And what I'm going to do over here, in kind of a clever way, is I'm just going to plant this whole area up with waterweeds, and then I'll deconstruct the farm tile and drop them right down into this spot right there. So that's a way that you can kind of dig out and create a nice big flat spot. And then once you deconstruct it, the plants will self-plant, and on some of the tiles, though, they will self-plant. They will not grow on the abyssalite here. Bubbles, what have you done? What am I ever gonna do with you, Bubbles? All right. What do you got there? Obsidian? That'll work. There you go, Bubbles. You're free. Since we're looking at ladders here, and I was desiring the ability to deconstruct all of these ladders at the same time, there's actually a mod for that called Chain Deconstruct, which is pretty cool. So I'll have to give that a try. Thanks so much for recommending that. And maybe once I get out of the testing branch here, I'll actually be able to use it. A lot of good feedback from the comments. So thanks so much for all of that. What I'm doing up here is I'm just going to have a couple of spots for just for gas, and that'll be feeding the Atmos suits and the jet suit docks. So I can store that stuff up. Also, liquid reservoirs, so I can pump the liquid into here and kind of store that up for the jet suits. That'll be petroleum. I did try ethanol for the jet suit docks, but unfortunately that doesn't work. I think there's an opportunity for another good use of ethanol, personally. If you can grow trees and turn it into jet fuel, like, that would be pretty legit, in my opinion. So if you wanted some feedback, Clay, there you have it. Okay, we got a little bit of hydrogen up here. I'm going to need more. Give me more. I have so many pips now. Look at this. It's ridiculous. 1, 2, 3. Here. There's another one. They're multiplying. They're like little rabbits. I'll make some adjustments over here so that I can store the eggs up and slowly incubate some more pips. Oh crap, I opened this up and now my Drecos have escaped. No, you get back in there. So there we go. Now I've got lettuce being delivered for the sushi and the mushroom wrap, and then we should see mushrooms over here. Maybe they were already delivered. Yes, there we are. Aha! So yes, now that I'm looking at this, the lettuce here, change per cycle is 0%. Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Oh crap, I have all the toilets disabled. What a flood! No! Dupes, turn your toilets back on. Oh, the mopping involved, and look at it all. Okay, so I also want to run oxygen up here to all of this. So this was always the plan. I'm actually just going to tap into a couple of outputs over here because I have extra. And then I'll just pipe that up through this channel. I have to use multiple pipes in order to provide enough oxygen, otherwise the suits don't fill up with enough oxygen, which could be really, really bad for my dupes. And there we go. So now I have more oxygen. 2 might not even be enough. I might actually need a third one as well, but for right now, that's probably good enough to start. So many pipes. Oh my goodness. For the first time in a long time, I actually get to deconstruct a few. Build, duplicates. Keep building everywhere. Okay, so I'm loading this up here, yes, with lots and lots of sleet wheat grain, which means right down here I can also do frost buns, which means down here we can do frost buns wherever I'll see them. There we are, frost buns. Okay, so I have all of the ingredients selected down here, and so they now should be shipped to wherever they need to go. Over here on the left, I'm doing omelets. This one is just going to do frost buns, so I can automate that. And then I'll do stuffed berries there. Pinch pepper bread will be right here. barbecue right there, sushi, and then you can see the mushroom wraps that Merc is making right now. So that's actually working good. I like it. I have so many things for my dupes to do. It's taking a little while here and starting to run more of a slideshow at this point, but you got it, dupes. Just keep deconstructing. Come on, Leon. Don't crash game. And then I'll connect the oxygen over here. There we go. Table salt can now be stored. Okay, but I just looked through the entire storage bin. I didn't see it. Where? In what? It's not in the refrigerator. Look at my dupes. They're starting to stress out. Got one of them at 1%. Oh, it's Merc. That's why, because you're... Sorry, bud. Let me help you out. I know, it's stressful down here. There's like not enough decor. There we go. That'll solve it. Okay, so you might be wondering just what in the world is going on down here. Well, this unit here is going to be set up as a super compressor. So it's actually a different method than what we're using for the wheeze warts over here to super compress the gas. But this one's actually a fair bit more reliable once you set it up. And these doors run in a sequence in order to compress the gas. My gosh, you think I have enough test maps? Test, 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 test. More testing. So the last time I used this door sequence here was for my fart eater, and this was during the What If Duplicants All Had Super Powerful Farts series. It's about 3 episodes long. If you haven't watched it, definitely give it a try. It's a lot more fun than it is technical, and I think it turned out great. It was actually really a whole lot of fun. All these dupes have fart traits, and they're super, super powerful too, so they were farting several kilograms per second sort of deal. But you can see the automation signal here. All the things you want to focus on, not necessarily how it's all laid out, but essentially here is that it's a buffer, filter, and then a buffer, and then yet another little buffer that goes to a knot, and that sequences these 3 doors in such a way that they pull in gas by creating a vacuum here, and then it traps it behind this last door. I've also did a video a while ago on the whole door compressors as well, so that'll be linked up there if you're curious about it. There's a new Humble Bundle, Programming Boards by Make, and so far I've really enjoyed the way that Make makes their guides and lays them out, and I think that this is going to be a really sweet bundle and can really get a lot of people started in the worlds of electronics. For example, this is one that I own, so this is Jumpstarting the Raspberry Pi Zero, also available in the bundle down here at the very bottom. Now, the thing I like about Make guides is that it seems to be written in a very intuitive way. So they don't hit you with a ton of words. You get a lot of bullet points, and you get a lot of these like bold spots right there. So for somebody like me who doesn't like to spend a ton of time reading page after page after page, these guys break it down for you, and they break it down in a way that makes a lot of sense, at least for me. So like this right here, where they're giving you the breakdown of the breadboard, and then they give you the breakdown of the pin layout. It's just really quality stuff. So you can check this out via the link in the description below. And what you'll find is that I'm partnered with Humble Bundle, so any purchase of this bundle will not only go to help support the charity, the makers of the content, but it'll also go to support my channel as well. So thank you for your time and all of your support. Stay awesome, guys. Okay, so here's how these doors work. You can see that the top one opens, the second one opens, and then closes, and then that third one closes right there at the end, sealing that gas down here. And then it remains closed just long enough for the top one to close up. And now that it's brought in some more gas, and it just constantly pumps more and more gas up here down into this area down there just to super compress it. So if you're curious about the automation signal, here's what it looks like. Up here at the top, this is 1 second. Then we go to a filter, that's 2 seconds. Then we have 2 seconds on this buffer gate and 1 second on that filter gate. And then we run to a knot to cause the entire thing to cycle around and around. So that's how that thing operates. And you can run this with power or you can run it without power. Right now I'm using power just to, get rid of all that gas down here. Well, not necessarily get rid of it, but just to keep the natural gas from starting to take over. I'm trying to keep all of this natural gas in check rather than have it take over my base. Because if we just build up loads and loads of natural gas down here, then that can cause some big problems later. So there we have it, a door super compressor. And there's many different ways to compress gases as well. You can use a gas pump and pump it into a room with a little puddle at the bottom. That's like the traditional way of doing it. But there's many ways to do the same sort of thing. So you can see here, this will build up where, well, it fluctuates all over the place, but you can see we have kilograms and kilograms and kilograms of it. So one thing you can do with this whole thing is if you have a a gas detector here, you could potentially disable this as need be. I'm going to be running so much petroleum here in just a minute. I'm just going to let it run. All right, as far as the cooking, look at this. This is actually working really good. So Merc is just continuing to make more and more mushrooms wrap here. His Crimson is doing the barbecue. I've cleaned up some of the automation over there, so it's just no longer visible. I guess I still have some liquid pipes back there. Oh well, I guess that'll just have to stay there. And then the decor down here is actually pretty nice. Look at that. Well, it's at 120 in some spots. I would say that's pretty nice. All right, yes, we can see that we're now running the oil refinery. And the petroleum is just running like crazy. Look at that. So now that liquid is going to flow. Oh man, it's going to flow all the way up here. My base looks so small compared to the map. I'm gonna have to scale things up a little bit. I have so many pips. What? How? And they're not starving to death? I only have 2 trees in there. I have 57 kilograms of natural gas down here now. Good job, Otto. Keep making that petroleum. Looks like we still have lots and lots of crude oil down there, so that's good. Oh, I dug down here and that unleashed more crude oil too. It's just like, oh, and you know what? That's a good spot to get some iron ore and everything. Maybe I'll have to do that. All of the liquids running to the electrolyzers. That's flowing large amounts of oxygen all over the place. You can see that these 2 pipes have now actually, believe it or not, backed up. And we can see here that the oxygen is now flowing up into this location, way up here. And then I have all of these suits that are going to be delivered and everything. So this little guy's coming together. I decided to slap down the virtual planetarium here. I will need interstellar research, so I need a telescope and, you know, some rockets and whatnot. So that's why I need to get up here into space and actually open it up to begin with, just so that I can do the research I need in order to, oh, this is a new menu, in order to research this stuff down here. Because I gotta get my hands on this bad boy over here. Ha! Waterweed, waterweed. Yes, they all self-planted down here. Even this fish has come down to check it out. So down here, I could just go ahead and say, enable auto-harvest whenever we actually get around to that. Looks like there's 2 spots I didn't have anything over there. So yeah, this actually just works really good. Food-wise, if you just go ahead and put a farm tile there, then you go to plant the seed or whatever, and you know, and then you deconstruct the farm tile, it will just drop it right down. You could also do a storage container and all of that stuff too. I suppose that's another way of doing it. This is a smaller menu though. And then just deconstruct that. Haha! And it'll go away. Bink! Oh, that's funny. Alright, cool. I guess that's not enough water to swim in, man. I'm sorry. This little guy's been flopping around for 23 cycles. I suppose that you might be able to use that to your advantage. You don't necessarily have... I guess they don't have to be in water? Could I do this just without water? Just have fish flopping around? Oh, I guess they don't reproduce while they're flopping around now, do they? What? Reproduction at 100? Yeah, they have... I guess not. Okay, just whatever you do, dupes. Don't open up this door. There's 129 kilograms of natural gas per tile. Bam! Jet suit. Oh. Okay, so now I'm running a big power cable all the way up here for this whole station. Once I get the solar panels up here up and running, this whole thing will be self-powering, and if anything, it will deliver power to the rest of the base. Not that I really need power right now. What I'm actually starting to struggle with a little bit more now is more power distribution, actually. So what I'm using is this top solar panel array down here from the Shinebug reactor, and that's going to run all the way over here and up through this area right there. So I thought about rebuilding this and just making it vertical the whole way, but the thing is, I'm not a big fan of super long ladders like that, because if a dupe gets distracted or something, they drop this stuff all the way to the bottom. So if the dupes are still going to use the ladder, which I don't think they will, I think they'll actually start to use the transit tube eventually, you know, then that at least gives this a spot for the material to build up. So if I need to start building a lot of things way up here, I don't have to run all the way to the bottom just to pick it back up again. Then it kind of comes out in a weird spot. It's like right here. I don't know. Maybe. It wouldn't be that hard. Looks like I'm one jet suit short. So how I'm actually getting the petroleum out of here, in case you're wondering, I just emptied this spot right there. So the dupes come up, they empty the pipe, and that's how I get the petroleum out that I need to build the jet suits, because it requires 25 kilograms of petroleum in order to make the jet suit. I guess they're made of plastic and stuff, so that might be why. Sweet. Look, they got power and everything. Oh, it's cool. You can see here just how much oxygen is flowing into this thing. It takes an immense amount of oxygen. These things hold tons of it. Tons of it. I don't know the exact... it's 200 kilograms, I guess. Wow. So each suit here is bigger than the gas reservoir. which means I might need to have more pipes in order to move all of that oxygen. But we'll, for right now, this is what it is. We'll see just how much oxygen I can actually produce down here. I might need more. I don't know. So currently 3 lines are feeding the base and 2 lines are feeding space. And I'm consuming all the water that's coming out of both steam vents here. So as fast as it can kick out more and more water, I'm taking it in. Although this one right here isn't really running as quite as much as it could. But I've cleared it out a couple times. All right, in case that wasn't enough things going on in this one episode, I'm also looking to take this cooling loop here, which has now started to heat up a little bit to about 32 degrees. And I'm going to run it over here through the ice box. There's a lot of activity that's been going on in this one episode. Like, these dupes are doing a lot of work. And to be honest, that's not going to stop anytime soon. So things slowed down there for a little bit as I was trying to focus on some different things. But now that we're gearing up for space, things are picking up big time. So now, do I have everything I need? No, come on. One more suit, and then I'll send you guys outside just for the sake of it. Bam. Nope, there we go. And there's the last jet suit that we need. All right, so do I dare dig out there right now? Tell you what, I'm gonna save the game. I'm gonna dig out there, start to jump into space. I think I'll even be able to get that achievement if I want, unless I have. I might have already got it, but here we go. Stinky's gonna be the first one. Perfect. What I'm going to do is just build some insulated stuff. Do I have ceramic? No, I don't. So we'll just jump on out there. There you go. Ooh, Bubbles is getting in on the action. Not too much should escape if it's just one door here, so we should be all right. Oh, everybody's getting in on it. The dupes are excited. Alert, surface breach. There we go, amazing. My dupes have managed to breach the surface of our rocky prison. I should be careful. The region is extremely inhospitable, and I could easily lose resources to the vacuum of space. I love that you get the new little, the music and everything in the background. It's cool. It's really cool. So now, check this out. We'll actually just dig right up to the surface just like that, and watch how cool it is now that we have jetpacks. See? Look at that! Look at Stinky go! He can fly! Although you're going to be stuck, bud. Whoa! There's let a little bit of regolith through. There you go. You have to dig down as well, but just have to be careful. Look at that! Otto's up there to check out the world. Careful with that iron. It's kind of hot, dupes. Look at him go! Alright, I actually don't want them to sweep all of that up. It's going to be a little toasty. I'm going to need to make an iron cooler for all of this stuff that I collect up here, because look at that, 167 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine if I took too much of that, right, and I put it right down here, how quickly I could heat this environment up down there. All right, dupes, that was enough. Less sweeping. Okay, so now that I have that available, what I'll actually do is maybe I'll take a dupe and I'll just send them right way up here, and then I'll be able to plan out everything I want to build. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do down here is under refined metal, I'm going to disable iron, because otherwise that would get really, really hot. So there we go. Whew. Problem solved. Oh yeah, and filtration medium. We don't need regolith down here. Please, no. And in case you're wondering, can you run a steam turbine off of regolith? Oh yeah. Yes, you can. We're definitely going to do that. All right, so let me take one of these dupes. Where you at, dupes? Who wants to roll? How about you head way over here just for a little adventure, huh? What? Why is everybody getting in on the action? Where are you going? Ew, you want to bring iron down. All right, I'll have to follow my dupes. I have to figure out where they're trying to store this iron. Going down, he's going down, he's going down, 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 down. Ah. Well, he's just delivering it to that, which is already maxed out. Well, it's not maxed out just yet, but it will be. Ooh. Oh, man. My dupes, they escaped. Travel up over here. There you go. Stinky just cruising around, checking out everything up there. Can I send you all the way over here? Yes. There you go. Be careful with how much fuel you have, Stinky. Look at him go. Stinky. I hope you make it back, bud. You're running on fumes. Keep going. Oh, great. Now he's got sunburn. Come on. You can do it, bud. Keep going. Ooh, he's almost out of gas. What? He got out of one and jumped into another? Okay, dupes. All right, dupes. You've had your fun. Mantis is cruising out over here. Kaya. Everybody's just... What are they even doing? Never give your dupes jet suits. You just run all over the place. So there you have it. That was pretty cool. I love jet suits. They're awesome. All right, so now that I have that, I can actually plan out all of the stuff I want to put up here in space because it's revealed. So I can make a big blueprint and send my dupes up there to go do some good work. And I don't necessarily have to build a bunch of ladders, even though that will make it a little bit more efficient for how much liquid I'm using and everything there, and I can use more Atmo suits. But I get the essentials built so I can defend myself from meteors first and then build all of my space gear below that. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. Thank you guys for watching. This is all I got planned for today. If you guys enjoyed this video and this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, guys, stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.